We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
If you'd clean them once in a while, it may not be such a bad idea.
Well, how often do you clean them?
Nightly.
Okay. It's interesting. Listen, before I get too far into this, I just, can you give us an oh yay before we commence with our Argle-Bargle so we can read our listeners?
Before we commence with our Argle-Bargle so we can read our listeners?
Yes. I just dropped 3 words a week on you in one sentence. Of
And
course, I had to read it. I didn't put it up in front of me
I
far
don't know if
enough.
that makes sense to read our
Well,
listeners.
you'll hear. So, oh yay was the first one. I said, please give us an oh yay
Oh,
before
yeah.
before we commence with our Argle-Bargle so we can read our listeners.
Commence says begin.
Yeah, that wasn't the word of the week there,
No.
Chief.
Argle-Bargle is tongue lashing.
No. So first one was oh yay,
Oh, yeah.
spelled O-Y-E-Z. And it means a call given by a court officer or formerly by public criers, typically repeated 2 or 3 times to command silence and attention as before court is in session.
Oh, yay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go. And then Argle-Bargle, this is the one I really want to use. And I might put this one right up there with Overmorrow.
Overmorrow. I'm going with it.
Yeah, the Argle-Bargle. Copious, and it's this, we should name our show this, actually. Copious but meaningless talk or writing.
Do we call it copious or Argle-Bargle?
Copious but meaningless talk or writing is Argle-Bargle.
That's our show.
Yeah, I know. The Argle-Bargle show is what this thing should be called.
We should do that. Let's just throw it all to wind.
Right.
Alexa, what is the definition of Argle-Bargle?
I didn't hear that.
You're an
Please
idiot.
try that again.
She's. Oh, I got a rant coming today, Woody. So be ready. Alexa, what is the definition of Argle-Bargle?
I didn't catch that.
Oh, okay.
Please say that again.
How many times does she have to hear it?
How do you spell it?
Oh, it's hyphenated. But
Hold on.
it's
ready to go. Alexa, define
Argle-Bargle. She didn't hear me. You know what I think of her.
I'm holding it to the microphone.
I know. I noticed that when I looked up after speaking.
What an idiot. Alexa, define Argle-Bargle.
From academicaccelerator.com. Argo is a steel-hulled tank barge built in
Here we go.
1911 by
All right,
Southern
never
Shipyard.
mind, Alexa.
Alexa, stop.
All right, the last word was reed, R-E-D-E.
That's a piece of it grows in the swamps.
No, that's R-E-E-D. This is
This one's different,
R-E-D-E.
though.
Yeah, thanks.
This is where you I don't know. What is it?
You did this in a previous profession of yours.
Read my customers?
Yeah. Advise.
Oh.
So again, the sentence was
which profession was that again?
when weren't you a financial advisor?
Financial reader.
Yeah, yes. So please give us an oh yay before you commence with our Argle-Bargle so we can read our listeners.
Oh yay! Oh yay!
You did that one already. So there you go.
Argle-Bargle.
Yeah.
And the hold on, let's see if this guy gets it.
Which guy?
This other thing. Define Argle-Bargle.
It's not going to talk, is it?
Okay. He says Argyle-Bargain.
So a sale on Argyle socks. That's good.
Okay.
Hey, man, I'm just
define Argle-Bargle. No, I can't.
Yeah, you can't even say. Now you're drunk.
I got it. Argo-Blogger. Okay, we'll stop.
We beat that one to death.
How do you spell it one more time? Because I think I want to name the show that.
Argle-Bargle. I never did the
I'll
pronunciation
get it
thing.
after the show because you said it too fast.
I got to make sure I pronounced it correctly.
It's probably Argle-Bargle.
No, it's Argle-Bargle. All right. So, all right.
Moving
So, do
on.
you want to get your rant off now, or would it make you feel better?
I don't know. I hate to start off in the mud. First of all, it's April 17th, and it's Thursday because we're moving around, folks. We have things going on. Last night was the big meeting. Don't say the C word. The big meeting.
Starts with an S.
S.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I can't remember what I usually call it. So I was thinking of the sect, SECT,
Well,
but that's not what I call
it.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So, what the hell was I doing? What was I going to look up? Anyway, so yesterday was a big meeting, and I got home about 9:30, so we couldn't do the show last night. And this is the last week of my commitments. I do have an FBLA update that could be kind of cool.
All right.
About in a minute. Anyway, this will lead me to the rant. So last night we meet at a very fine establishment. I don't want to say the name. It's the only fine dining establishment, truly fine dining establishment. Well, there's a
You meet in the same place every time?
Yeah, every month.
So don't give it away. You don't want hecklers showing up.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, let me reset the stage. So you know how I talk about how there's certain people that shouldn't travel, shouldn't fly.
Yes, in your words, not mine.
In my words.
Right.
My words do not represent Woody's beliefs.
That's right.
And that's not a racial thing. It's just certain, whether it's Echo Strata or whatever it is, it's just certain people shouldn't fly. I mean, I could be in that group. Anyway, so there's just certain people that shouldn't dine out. So I'm put some damn clothes on. I'm turning into my father. I go out to dinner, and you go to, I own this Clay Eats thing on Facebook too.
Right.
So I'm thinking about writing an article and posting it into that about this. But everyone kind of bitches and moan about we don't have any good places to eat, and it's not a good situation. And then you go to the parking lot outside the place, and the husband and wife show up in a pair of running shorts, which they should not be in, by the way. And she had a running singlet on, like they just looked at each other.
What's a running singlet?
It's a wife beater, but it's made out of nylon.
So it's tight.
Not this. It's a thing that people run in. So she's got her bra on underneath, and she's got a tank top, I'll call it, and a matching pair of kind of running shorts, and she's got flip-flops on, which drives me nuts. And then he's wearing kind of a running short, men's athletic short, kind of longer, but it's the one you pull up with a drawstring, and he's got a t-shirt on with some print on it. And they're 40, maybe 50 years old, and he's got flip-flops on. And they get out of the car.
Were they nice flip-flops, like leather, or the kind you get at Kmart?
When you're 50, no more flip-flops. Just a rule. I don't want to see your toes, okay? It's just, I don't want to see it. I'm a feet fetish guy kind of thing, but no, at 50, I don't want to.
We need to explore that one.
I don't want to see them. So I'm thinking they're going to go to the Mexican bar next door, and they're going right in the door. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Put on a damn collared shirt, a pair of slacks, some dress shoes. Doesn't have to be your Sunday.
You're in Florida, Dave. Come on.
I don't care. This is I tell you what, Woody, thank God I was not in the restaurant when they came in and sat down. I would have said something. I would have asked for my check. I would have got up and walked.
So you would have made them ruin your dinner instead of the other way around.
Well, I mean, it just pains me that we've lost a sense of class, decency, decorum. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think it's a little bit of business money over, right? You don't want to turn away customers, right?
Well, and I talked to the guy, and he goes, "Look, I need the money." I said, "No, look, I don't throw stones. I mean, I don't, to say there used to be a dress code. You shouldn't have to. I don't know. It's just common
No,
sense.
I get what you're saying. It's just like when I was young, and so the first flight I ever took was in the late 70s or whatever.
Dressed
And
up like
you
you're
know,
going to church.
what's that? Yeah, I dressed like and everybody on the plane was dressed that way. And it's as dress codes get relaxed and everything, and people push the envelope of what's acceptable, the dollar reigns over what's acceptable is simply what it amounts to.
Yeah, but
right?
This is sheer laziness, and
yeah,
I mean, this is a kind of place where people go to celebrate an anniversary, a milestone in their family. It's a special place, and I don't care how much money you got. If you can afford it 7 million times, whatever, it doesn't give you the license to be gauche, without.
right.
I don't know. It just.
Or if if you want to celebrate your anniversary or hold a meeting, that kind of place.
Yeah, no, linen tables, service, glasses of ice water,
Yeah.
bread plates, the deal.
They don't give them plasticware so no one gets hurt.
Linen napkins, fine china, and you show up in a pair of running shorts and a slinglet and flip-flops. Get the hell out of my place. I don't know. I would have said, hey, look, sorry, I need the money, but you're out.
And that young man's name was Mike Schmidt.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I got it off my chest. Put some damn clothes on, people. You're going out to eat. This ain't McDonald's.
But I'm trying to think because I went to an Italian restaurant with my wife last weekend.
What'd you wear to the outlet mall steakhouse?
Well, it was kind of chilly out, so I had a pair and I would have gone with normally I probably would have wore jeans and because it was in an outlet mall.
Yeah,
for goodness sakes.
That's
so fair. Jeans and a collared shirt probably.
This place is equivalent in Italian world to like Ruth's Chris. What I'm talking about.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean, yeah, you're talking $40-$50 a plate and stuff. So
yeah.
Okay. Boy, you guys live large, man. Your meeting. Do you guys get a discount?
No, we're movers and shakers, man. The big hitters.
All right.
We play 50. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, so it's Easter weekend coming up.
Monday, right? Thursday. Oh, boy. You don't know this one, do you?
No, go ahead.
You don't know Monday, Thursday?
No.
You know Good Friday?
Yes.
Do you know why it's Good Friday?
Because he rose from the dead?
That's Sunday. That would be Easter.
Always on a Sunday.
Oh boy.
Well, then he died. I've heard. I know I've had to hear it, but can I tell you no?
You can tell me.
You don't know either because now I see you Googling. I see you Googling there in the background.
Hands free. This is the third week in a row we've had a little spiritual context.
Yeah. What's going on? What's it called?
Monday, Thursday is the Jewish call it the Passover. We call it the Last Supper.
Oh,
this is okay. His disciples in the upper room
at his fine Italian restaurant
at the La Quinta in the upper room,
holding his cult meeting.
Well, be careful. And they lightning is abound. And they had the Last Supper, and this is where he announced to the disciples that he would be crucified, and one of you is going to turn on me.
Yeah. When the crow cries 3 times or something like that, right?
No,
that's more later on.
Betrayal with Peter.
Okay.
But anyway, so they're going to have the Last Supper. He talks about, I'm going to die, but don't worry about it. I'm going to come back to life in 3 days. So you can imagine, just like the Mary and Joseph story we had, you've been following this guy for 3 years and you believe him, but it must be hard to imagine that this guy says, I'm going to die and come back.
Did he say it in that way? I thought it was more abstract. Well, no one has word by word what was said, right? I mean,
well, you can read it up in the New Testament. You can find it. It's in the red print.
I know, but
Well, you got to
I've
believe
had this
that
argument with
scripture is infallible.
That's what they say. I'm not a.
That's what he said.
No.
You have to believe
I've argued
that.
this point. There is no way that
Woody, stop.
every religion, every Bible is a translation of what was initially said and done.
Okay, so we don't get too far right to stay in the focus of what the weekend is, but it is mind-boggling that we could have some written word, spoken word, and jotted down some 2,000 to 6,000 years ago,
right?
And it still remained through all the translations inerrant. So I understand the Holy of Holies and how great the Holy is, and you're going to have to read a guy named Tozer to actually understand how great the Holy is. It's a book.
Was that some guy in our fraternity, Tozer? Like a nickname? Or is that a foot fetish guy, Tozer?
That's Big Tozer. Anyway, so yeah, read Tozer. So let me get on this. Monday,
I won't, but that's okay.
Okay, so Friday comes along. It's Good Friday because, which is bizarre because even his own mother Mary, standing at the foot of the cross, watching this thing happen, asking herself, how could this be a good day? And so if it weren't for his dying on the cross and defeating not only death, but the sin he was tempted with during the 40 hours of temptation, then we would not have any eternal hope either. And so he dies on Friday, and then Easter Sunday
for our sins.
For our sins. And then he conquers death by rising from the dead, and in that moment conquered sin. And sent Satan to hell damnation for eternity. And so it gives us the ultimate hope, not only the hope, but the assurance, if we believe in him, that we can have eternal salvation as well and conquer death and be forgiven of his sins, our sins. So Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Sunday.
Well, this will be a nice segue into why I brought it up. So I was driving home, and I passed a church on the way home, and they had a invitation for all that joined them for their Easter egg hunt. And so I was envisioning. So that got me thinking. I'm like, didn't have an age limit on there. Like, could you show up as an adult and like get on that line with a bucket? And you're like, where's your kid? Oh, I didn't bring a kid. They blow the whistle or whatever, and you just start pushing kids over.
Forearm shiver to little junior next to you.
It's like something you'd see in a movie, like slow motion. You come hauling down the hill to search for eggs. You start knocking kids' baskets out.
So we were members of the yacht club a long time ago, which I bring up from time to time, and they celebrate Easter. You know, every country club or yacht club has Easter brunch, and they bring out the big bunny, so you get pictures with the bunny, kind of like a Santa tradition.
The adults do, or the kids?
Well, the club sponsors, the Easter bunny, and there's pictures that go along with it. It's a beautiful brunch, this place, and they have an egg hunt, and there was a kid that was autistic, I guess, and he was probably about 20 years old, and what you described is exactly what was going on. And they had to restrain this kid one year. It was like, look, Johnny can't participate in the egg hunt because he was just knocking kids out. He had a big basket with him, and
it was like that guy in the airplane. That story I had way back when people cut him off getting out of their seat. He goes, "Oh, why don't we all just get off the plane?"
So it became kind of thing like, hey, I wonder if Johnny's going to participate this year, because that made it even more fun. And then later that afternoon, they would go around the pool and they would throw beer cans in the pool, and then you would go diving for beer cans. So that was really bringing a full circle of celebration.
Oh, like the adults would jump in, not the kids. Yeah. They did something like that at my. So when I was a kid, we had a nice pool and backyard and everything. And we held my aunt's wedding reception at our house, and I remember something they did like that. I was very small, so. Where they had everybody jump in the pool trying to get beer cans, even though there were 50 more at the open bar down at the end of the walk.
Yeah.
everybody jumped in for it. So,
did you mark the time down?
Yes, I did. Well, I estimated it.
Okay.
So
I forgot.
But we are well within the bounds of the usual 45 minutes. I'm looking for a clock. There we go. Okay, I found one. We're about halfway done.
Okay.
But now, speaking of health, yeah, I'm tired of being injured. Good gracious. So,
you hurt?
Yes, again. So, I guess about 3 years ago, I herniated a disc in my back. So that put me out for about 4 or 5 months. And just as I'm getting back back in the wagon, back on my wagon, getting back to good health, I injured my elbow, right? I got tennis elbow, essentially. That's what I got. And that took 3 to 4. I mean, it was painful enough. It didn't stop me from stuff, but I didn't play golf. I didn't play golf when I herniated my disc. I stopped playing golf during my elbow injury because that hurt. And once that gets cleared up, then I fractured my arm last about 7 months ago. So I've just been getting back into the swing of things again. And this week I herniated my disc again.
Same one, or?
Yeah, it's got to be the same one. I didn't even go to the doctor to bother with it this time. But yeah, I did it. The one of two ways it happened, because it started bugging me early in the morning on Saturday, and then by Sunday I couldn't get out of bed. But either it was picking up a pickleball from the ground, or picking up my dog's turds in the backyard. So I got that going for me.
Is it a big dog?
But I was bending over. That's how old I am. It just took me bending over to pick up a wiffle ball to essentially put me out of commission again for what will be another couple months.
So between Argle-Bargle and when you go to the cigar store, my shop that I go to, I haven't been in a while since I haven't had a break, but it's a bunch of old guys, right? So you sit around, you talk about your prostate, your corns and your bunions and all that kind of stuff. This may turn into that. I had an incident. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, first of all, we're getting old, Woody. This is
I know, but I'm so tired of being like I'm out of golf. I get to play golf maybe 4 times a year, and now I can't even
do you
if
do
the
any
opportunity.
Exercise?
Well, that's what I was doing. I was playing pickleball and stuff between. I either play golf or pickleball, and I do a lot of I do my own yard work. I work in the shop a lot, fixing things and building
you were
things.
Going to say yoga when you started.
No. But the way luckily for herniated disc, unless it just doesn't repair it, it's just a lot of physical therapy, and I still had all the exercises from the last time, so I just been starting to do them again. See if that helps. Apparently, having a weak core can get to you. So that's a good way of saying a fat stomach.
Yeah. So I guess I should put it in chronological order. So this past 2 weeks ago, we're moving. We talked about the witness protection program.
Yeah.
So we've started, boxing, and it's been a good experience so far. We're actually getting rid of stuff. You look out in the garage. There's stuff that's been out there for 30 years. You're like, I don't know what's in that box.
Don't open it.
Yeah, well, that's been the rule. But anyway, so there was a weekend where it was pretty hot, and we were moving some stuff, and I was down in the fluids like crazy, drinking water, and I don't know, it's hot. So I go to the fair. That week I had to work Tuesday at the fair for the clothes closet. And then I saw the Fidelos. I saw them Sunday at the fair. Then I went to work Tuesday at the fair.
You're the clown, right?
Yeah. And I had to work Friday night at the fair with the Republican Club. And so Friday night, we had this weird storm blow through. We had a cold front come across, a bunch of hail. It went from about 79 degrees to 49 degrees in 10 minutes.
I hate that.
It was weird. Cool. But anyway, so I'm like, well, I'm going to go home. Everyone's kind of leaving the park. And then I said to myself, I better go to, I can hear my mother, go to the bathroom before you leave and let's get out of here. So I go off to the fair bathrooms. Of course, they're not that great. And then the place is wet because of the rainstorm. And I like to sit down, enjoy my time, but So
in a porta-john?
No. It's in a structure, but I'm not going to sit because I just don't want to, and I got to get out of there. So I start to commence my emptying of my lemonade, the fair bucket lemonade thing, and I commenced urinating, and an excruciating, like almost dropped to my knees pain. I'm thinking, did I fold it wrong or something? And so I don't know what's going on, but I mean,
Yeah, I know if it's what I think it is. I've been there.
So I get done, and
You got it caught in the zipper, right?
no, I wish that would have been easy. And I look down in the toilet, and it's pink.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so I'm
Oh,
like,
you had pink lemonade.
yeah, that's what it was. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to do a full-on inspection here, but
Did you taste it though, at least?
why? Well, I did check to make sure I didn't catch it in the zipper, because now I'm thinking, where's the blood coming from? So we're fine. I get back to the house, and of course Sheila's in bed. She's conked out. It's 11 o'clock, and I have to do it again. So this time I'm in my toilet, and this is really big time information.
Yeah, this is great story, man. Visual.
But so sure enough, it's blood, and I'm like, what the cack? So I get the Google out, and I'm looking it up, and it says, kidney stone. Could be a kidney stone.
That's what I was thinking.
So, but I've never had kidney stones.
It doesn't matter.
I know. And so I'm one of these guys that kind of tracks everything I do.
Right. Yeah.
So then I remembered I'd spent that whole week in the sun, just sweating my tail off, drinking fluids, but obviously not enough. And then I just kind of just deduction that this must be a kidney stone. So
right.
I just kept flushing water, kept going to the bathroom. The next morning I woke up, no more blood. But I must have passed a stone. But they're so small. I wish I.
Yeah, it's incredible. I had a kidney stone probably 10, 15 years ago. And it was kind of the same thing. I was building a deck on the back of the house, and I'd been out there for days in the sun, sweating, but I was drinking a ton of water and everything. Doctor said that could have been because most of us have the calcium in the kidney, right? It's just where it gets to a point where it breaks off or something like that, and it starts going down the tube. But man, did that absolutely! I mean, that's so. That's the night when my kids were young. I had that point in time. I had my two girls, and they were probably both younger than 5. So I went. It just happened like at noon. So I went to the urgent care, and they're like, hey, we can't x-ray, but we're pretty sure you got a kidney stone, and the pain went away. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go home. And later that night it hit, and it was late enough that the kids were already in bed. So I'm like, I'll just drive myself to the hospital, Barb, like that. And so I'm driving to the hospital, and it's just excruciating pain that won't go away. And I'm at the stoplights, like curled up on the steering wheel, trying to just wait. And people are sitting in the car next to me going, is that guy okay?
What's he doing?
Yeah, exactly. I get to the ER, and I walk in. They're like, "Oh, we're currently full, so you're just gonna have to wait." And I can't wait. I'm like, "You got to be kidding me! I can't wait." I said, I'm in so much pain," and I said, "I'm gonna go." I'm going to go outside and call an ambulance, because if you arrive by ambulance, you have to be admitted. Right. They have to admit you.
That's a $500 admission.
Yeah. Well, it gets you right in though. Right. So she goes, sir, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Well, there's no way I can drive to another hospital or anything at this point. So I go curl up on a chair for an hour or so. But I remember at one point, an ambulance pulls up. I'm waiting for a bed, essentially, is what it amounts to, right? And an ambulance pulls up, and they wheel this girl through. So I'm like, oh, great. One more ahead of me, at this point. And I'm
just go knock her off the gurney and jump on the gurney?
Well, that's not the worst part. The worst part is her mother shows up, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes later. And she's like, is so-and-so here? They're like, yes. Can I go back and see her? And they're like, yeah, you need to fill these things out. And during it, she goes, this is the second time this month she's OD'd. I'm like, mother, you telling me some kid that OD'd twice in 1 month ahead of me at this point?
Wow.
So I luckily made it long enough to get some painkillers and had to wait it out at that point. But yes, it was. I don't even know how to. I'm looking for something around my desk that would basically the pen tip. The tip of a pen was the size of the. It's amazing how much pain that can create.
Well, my buddy that was a client of mine had them bad, and he said under a microscope they look like sand spurs.
Yes, they do, because I had to collect mine, and there was a way to collect it, make you pee through a screen, basically.
Get the coffee filter out and pee.
Right, and make so you can submit so they can make sure. But I mean, some people's grow to be the size of baseballs and stuff in their kidneys. Obviously you can't pass them, so they'll use they'll try to break them down into into smaller pieces. But eventually they do have to open you up and remove it that way. So
if I got a baseball passing through my urethra, I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Just give me a bullet to the head, please. Not that head either.
All right, so that's some life lessons for everyone there.
Have you heard Brian Regan's bit about going to the emergency room?
No,
Brian Regan. So
I like him.
So you got to listen to it. I had never heard the bit before, and then recently I stumbled across it. He talks about, and he pulls in the parking garage, and then he goes, "Oh, okay, I'll drive around."
That's kind of how I was. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll get back in my car."
It's like, of all the things, when you don't want to park yourself in the car, you're driving to the emergency room. Oh, it's hilarious.
The main hospital has a valet parking, but not the ER.
Yeah, well, that's what he was talking about. He goes, "Can I valet this?" He goes, "No, you gotta park it yourself." He goes, "Oh, okay. I got a gunshot wound. I'll drive around."
I'm
of
bleeding
all
out.
the places that needs a valet park, this would have been a perfect thing.
Yeah. In fact, I think he has a new special coming out soon. So. Yeah, I've enjoyed him over the years. So did you watch the Masters this weekend?
I did not. I was moving, packing, or doing something.
Oh, I was saying, you're not. What day are you moving? The end of the month?
We did the.
Do you have a place to move?
We're paying like 6 months on 8 different places at one time. No, we got a place. We can go tonight if we want to. Just for that. I think we got. We're getting a truck.
Are you renting or did you buy?
The place we're staying in, or the truck?
No, the place you're going to.
No, we're gonna rent. God, hopefully one more time.
Okay.
Well, so she wants to get us in a camper, right? And my avenue was this: instead of spending $100,000 on depreciable assets.
Now, when you say camper, do you mean a mobile home, an RV, or an actual camper?
An RV, the fifth wheel.
Okay.
Remember those things I sent you a picture of? Those little teardrops.
Oh, yeah.
So we would have to buy like a 1-ton truck and a fifth wheel.
And you'd live in a trailer park. Not a trailer park, but an RV park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd get
KOA.
I'd have to get tattoos probably or something. Or bandanas. I don't know.
And learn to make small talk about the weather.
Yeah, what's that thing that you told us, the thing you wear on a stick, the food basket?
Oh, a bindle.
A bindle. I have to walk around with a bindle. But I said, let's downsize one more time. We'll get a small place, just the two of us.
Right.
And then if we can survive living in 900 square feet, which is twice the size of a camper.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I don't know. Your fifth wheel. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then we'll cross that bridge. The reality is Sarah, our youngest, is out of state tuition. She's up in Pennsylvania.
Right.
She's in her last year. This coming fall will be her last year of her master's program. So we're spending some cash to pay for that. And this will save us $500 a month by making this move. And then,
my neighbor my neighbor in Tennessee, who's in the trailer business, the other day he comes home and good Lord, the size of the fifth wheel he brought home. It was longer than his driveway, practically.
Yeah, there's some big ones.
Yeah, my wife took a tour of it. Basically it was a repo, and so he brought it home to see if he wanted to buy it. So I won't know until the next time I get back up there. But I mean, it had the expanding sides on it and everything. She said there was an upstairs bedroom in the in the back end of this thing. So
they're pretty amazing. You know, we do live in Hurricane State, though. That's the only thing that bothers me. But I don't know.
You could tie him down, you know?
Yeah, sure you can.
You know, it's just anyhow, that'll be an interesting. Yeah, I'd like to see the first podcast from your camper. I used to call Brad's when he lived in a trailer. I called it a camper.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out the podcasting from the new place. So
okay.
yeah, we'll get that figured out. Anyway, I do have one more aging physical thing. So in springtime, I guess it's New Year's. We have a committee on campus where wellness becomes real important. And there's this cute little lady who runs it for our school. I say cute. I don't want to be kind of she's an attractive woman. She's married, but she's just real bubbly, And so she comes up to me and she goes, "Mr. Theus, are you registered for our wellness program to be
nudge,
walking?"
nudge, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you saying? I mean, am I the only one you're talking to? What's going on here? He goes, "Well, I'm concerned about your well-being." I'm like, "Okay, stop. I know what you're saying. I'm fat."
She goes, "No, not physical, mental well-being."
So I said, "I'm thinking about it." And what happens to me is I played football for not a tremendous long time, high school and college a little bit, and you just have this mindset, it's that time of year where you want to go to camp and be in shape, right? So you don't do everything you did when you were playing football, but something kicks in your head, and it's like, oh, I gotta get ready for camp, because you don't want to be going to football camp 2-a-days in July and August out of shape, right? So you start doing stuff. So I've been reading a lot about people walking. This is the new thing.
Whoa, walking?
Yeah, walking for exercise. It's low impact. You don't have to kill yourself. So I set up a very systematic approach. I said, okay, I'm kind of shortness of breath here, and maybe it's the cigars. I don't know.
Cigars, the food, the weight,
300 pounds,
the bourbon.
So I walked for 10 minutes.
That's a long time. Well, did you meander for 10 minutes, or you
stumbled and bounced? No, I wasn't doing 4 miles an hour. I was probably doing about 3 miles an hour. But I walked for 10 minutes, and I paced myself, so I went back by the bathroom, and I had to go park on the head for about 5 minutes to kind of recover. And then the next day I did 12 minutes.
Ooh.
And then I set the pace to do 15 minutes.
And where are you walking at, though?
So on campus.
The track.
Yeah, well, we don't have a real track, but we have it's a pretty big expansive campus. And so today I did 20 minutes.
Oof.
And my goal, and I felt I didn't have runner's high by any means, but but I felt like a little, looser,
yeah.
So I'm going to do 20 minutes. We're off tomorrow. I'm going to do 20 minutes in the morning. What I can do is get to school early before my contract time. So I get there, say at 7:50, 20 minutes. Then my contract starts at 8:20.
What do you do about sweating and stuff?
Well, it's cool right now, so I'm okay. I don't know what's going to happen in summer, but I won't be there.
Yeah.
But
so you won't walk. Yeah.
I'll just sweat at home, I guess. Anyway, so here we go, starting something else, but I'll be doing that. That's
all right. Well, at least you're doing something. But so I brought up the Masters because of golf, and then you skipped right over it like it was a nothing burger.
Well, I do have go ahead. I don't want to hog the show. You do your Masters.
Well, I just was curious if you were interested in it at all, or
Sunday came around, and I guess I'd seen a bit somewhere that McIlroy was in the hunt. He was going to be.
He was in the final pairing with Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, and that pairing, wasn't DeChambeau the guy that played golf with Trump that day?
He has played with him on he has a YouTube channel.
Well, I that doesn't matter, but I if you're going to watch the Masters, you can catch it on the last day. It's like coming to an NBA game in the last quarter. But I did want to watch it, but we were in the throes of boxing and being doing things your wife wanted you to do.
Well, then you probably got caught up watching the Bristol race, right? Is that what kept you from the Masters?
No, I'd like to watch that too. I like.
How about the Long Beach Grand Prix? That was on.
There was no TV in our house. that weekend.
All these great sporting events, and nay to all of them.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Hey, I was just thinking about, we're coming up on episode, this will be 98th episode.
That's what I was gonna look for. Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's the
So
98th.
have you seen the memes though of McElroy taking the jacket?
No. Did something happen or something around that?
Well, apparently this is his 17th attempt, I think it was.
11th, I think.
Whatever. And he hasn't won any of them, right? Until this
right. This was the last piece to being a Grand Slam winner. He had won the US Open, the British Open, and the PGA Championship, but he hadn't ever won the Masters. So he's only the sixth golfer in history to win all four now.
Yeah, so this was an important one for me. He wanted to get it done, right? So there's about 4 different memes. You can see them on X, formerly known as Twitter, or they're out there on Facebook, or you could probably just Google it. But he it's AI generated. So
right, has to be, because I didn't remember. I watched the first time he got the jacket.
They're hilarious.
Okay. Well, the big controversy is he had filed for divorce less than a year ago and was reportedly dating the CBS announcer who's at the Masters, but now he reconciled with his wife, and
his kids were there.
Yeah, but they didn't seem too lovey-dovey, so everybody read obviously so much into that. So that's all the talk all the headlines, fake headlines I've seen this week are about his relationship with his wife and the announcer that had to interview him after he won and everything like that. So anywho,
yeah, I'm not a big McElroy fan. I mean,
I'd like to see someone. I'm not a person who likes to see the same winner over and over again. So
I agree. There's a cool clip though. I've never seen this before, but he and Tiger, for example, he was a child prodigy, kind of like Tiger was.
Yes.
There's a clip of him on some Irish TV show, and he's like 5 years old, and he would chip golf balls into his mother's dryer or washing.
Oh, okay. All right.
And to look at him was like, God, I bet he hates this clip. He just looks like this little munchkin of a kid, but it was so darling that they put him on a little piece of green.
Yeah, Tiger was on Letterman
he was on Johnny Carson.
He was on Letterman too. The Letterman one I remember. I don't remember the Carson.
I actually remember seeing the Carson one when he was talking about he wants to beat the Golden Bear and all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, well, it looks like he's not going to top the Golden Bear, but that's okay.
Yeah, you talk about
injuries,
the disc and injuries. It happens to the best of them.
And painkillers. Well, that happens when you drive your car off the road.
Hit telephone poles.
yeah, that's twice. You're right.
And your Scandinavian wife hits you with a 7-iron. Or a 50-degree lob wedge. Ow, that hurts.
Yeah, she ran back to the house. I need a 60-degree wedge for this shot.
Clean up. Episode 98. Tonight's episode 98.
Yeah, so we got to put some thinking into the 100th. What we're going to do when we're going to do it. I say
we go naked. We broadcast naked. What do you think?
I'm not sure that's going to draw.
But we don't do the video. We don't
do viewership.
We just have stale pictures of us holding up, I don't know, something.
I don't know what that would do though, Dave, other than tickle your fancy. But
seeing you naked?
No, you wouldn't see me naked because I wouldn't put it up there.
Oh, okay. Is that a disclaimer?
I mean, my face is naked every week. Listen, I think we got about 60 seconds left.
All right. Well, then I'll save my FBLA update because I will have a firm answer next week.
All right. So, next week will be 99 and then 100. So if we're going to plan anything for 100, we got to start thinking about it now.
We don't want to plan it on the show, do we? That'd be kind of.
Well, why don't we ask the people now to submit ideas?
Well, they've always been so forthright and
very helpful over the first 98 shows. I don't know why they would stop now.
I like consistency. They are. All right. Well, you thinking you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. It's still daylight outside. Is it daylight? Look out our window. It's daylight.
Yeah. For once, it's usually dark by now.
Our window.
Yeah, look out the back.
Yeah. So,
right, Dave?
Spaces. Let's go. I think it's a good idea. Let's go to Spaces on X, because there were so many people last time. I can't wait to talk to some of the people.
I know it's hard to mingle how to answer everyone's questions, but we'll get to them.
We do it. All right. I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And you've listened to, I think this one's on the verge of titulating.
Okay. All right.
And it's been a great one, and it's episode 98, so you can't argue about episode 98. It's just a good thing. So listen to first of all, we're flipping this time. So we're on YouTube. We can say that, right?
But don't watch.
Look, it's We Can Help with Dave and Woody. Just skip right past it. But whatever you do, do not tell a friend. Please do not say a word to anybody about We Can Help with Dave and Woody on YouTube. Just forget about it.
And don't even think about clicking that button down in the corner.
If it says subscribe, you just go for the antithesis of that, which is unsubscribe. No, don't do that. Okay. No. Then on Spotify, we're also broadcast throughout Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Podcast Addict. Just Spotify went down today. Apparently our show was downloaded so many times. Did you hear about that?
Oh, no.
Spotify had an outage.
Getting into the top 100.
Yeah, Spotify top 100. That's what we're aiming for. But just forget about that too, because we don't want you to,
We don't want you. Well,
it's flipping, flopping.
If you're listening right now.
What an idiot.
Come on, we're way over now. Let's go.
Did you see did you see the post I put on the Sigma Chi thing? We found the cure for insomnia.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All right, we're going to say good night.
Good night.
Peace out.